Regarding the trust that you can have in our statements, I would like to reassure you. Of course, we work in an environment of trust with you. Regarding the figures on vaccinations which are available, what are we talking about here? Well, we're talking about scenarios and hypotheses which are based on our contacts with pharmaceutical businesses, with whom we have negotiated. We're looking at their expectations in terms of making these products available, and how much they can make available in the time available, if this vaccine actually proves effective. So it really is the best case scenario, as she said. We're not talking about a plan here. Not everything has been written down in detail. And we can't really announce at the moment in a very rigorous way how we're going to distribute vaccinations. So we're talking about hope here, based on the contact that we have with businesses. So it's in the public interest to say, this is what we're doing, this is what we're preparing, these are the discussions that we're having, and to talk to you about the different scenarios. Regarding your first question on the figures which were announced and were stated once again by the President quite recently, these are figures from the Emergency Support Instrument. But now that the idea of cross-border transfer of patients has come back on the table and there's a new phase of the pandemic, it's important to restate that this money is available to be able to fund this type of transfer of patients between member states. So that's why it was mentioned in the declaration of the President, and this seems completely normal to me.
As far as staff is concerned, I think we already said this. This interests Viviane and myself and the colleagues. The staff respect exactly the same laws as everyone else, any other citizen. The only exception you can have is tied to our functions, which might lead some of us, considered as critical staff, might be obliged to come to the office, even if there is a general lockdown, or coming in late, as it happened yesterday after the press conference that ended at 11 o'clock, so later than the lockdown time. So we have exceptions which allow us to move between our place of residence and the office. But apart from that, we are citizens like anybody else. And we have to adapt to fulfill the rules that are applied to all citizens. As to the President, as we already mentioned, her official movements, for security reasons, we don't announce them. We don't announce her private movements. But she too respects the legislation, the law which applies. I hope that this answers all your questions. I'd like to know whether there are any further questions on the health point.
It is on health.